Hello Drive Radio fans, Richard Rush here today with my dad, John Rush, behind the camera. And this is the review of the 2016 BMW X5 xDrive 40e. Some of you are going to say, well, why on earth, what a long name, just call it the X5 40e. I'm just going off of the window sticker, so for those of you BMW fans, you can attest to that. What is this vehicle? Well, this is BMW's all-new plug-in hybrid SUV entry to their X5 SUV lineup. It's got a plug-in on the side that we'll show you here in just a second. It gives you about 15 miles of electric range. Now that's going to depend and vary depending on a lot of different factors. What your charge is at, obviously, if you have a full charge or not, what the weather's like outside. If it's winter and it's a little bit colder outside, you're going to get less from the battery pack versus the summer, which is what we've had here. We've gotten a little bit more juice out of that pack, I think, than maybe what some people are actually experiencing. So keep that in mind, especially when you buy this car. Also, depending on how many times you charge it up and such, over the course of time, just like any other electronic device, you're going to lose a little bit of battery, but that won't take place for quite some time. So as I mentioned, all new to the X5 platform. This vehicle starts out at a base price, $62,100. As this vehicle sits, and I'll go over the options in just a second, $76,720. So with that, Dad, why don't we actually kind of get into the review? I'll talk about some of the options on it. Again, as you can see, looks very similar to the X5 that's out on the road today. For those of you that are BMW fans, you're not going to notice a whole lot of difference. Even for those of you that are not BMW fans, right here, again, you have that charge port. We'll actually going to break here in just a second and show you what that looks like. You do have nice venting right here on both sides to cool the brakes and such. If you wanted to take it out, it's got nice big fat tires. And speaking of the wheels that we're showing you right now, this comes standard with 19-inch wheels. And actually, really quick, I'm going to give you what's standard. There's a single trim level for the 40e. It's all-wheel drive, so BMW's xDrive. Just a few of the standard features: rear air suspension, adaptive headlights, automatic wipers, panoramic sunroof, dual zone climate control, heated front 10-way power seats with 4-way lumbar support. That's all standard. The options that are on this vehicle: the cold weather package, which gives you a heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, and retractable headlight washers. The luxury line with 20-inch alloy wheels, which we just showed you for $1,000. The luxury line itself is $1,100. Luxury seating, which gives you front ventilated seats, is $1,350. The Mocha interior design package is $1,950. And the premium package, which is one of 3 equipment lines that you can choose from, $2,550. There's also several other packages on here: a rear view camera for $400, ceramic controls for $650, surround view camera system, which I think we kind of showed you up front. It's underneath the mirrors for $750, $200 for smartphone integration, and the last big package is the BMW night vision with pedestrian detection, which we'll show you in our driving mode. That's for $2,300. So with that, actually, why don't we real quick, we'll comment, and we will do this on all luxury vehicles that we encounter. BMW, please put this up here, hide it away. If I'm paying $75,000 for a car, I don't want to steal the rear windshield wiper. Wouldn't prevent me from buying it, just something to note. And so here we go on the back. It is a automatic liftgate, obviously, and it's the typical X5 split hatchback that you consistently find. So if you do want to do some tailgating, you can put this down and it will fold down. Really nice amount of trunk space. What do you have in terms of cubic feet? 34.2 cubic feet here in the back, and that's with the battery pack underneath here. You only lose 2 cubic feet compared to that of the traditional X5, which really is not bad at all. With the seats folded down, 72.5. Here's where your charging cable goes. It actually comes up, so you don't have to worry about holding it up. You just unclip it. So this again is where your 120 volt charging cable goes. Some nice storage back here. A lot of other nice features that clips in. You have a power port back here that you're able to clip in. You do have the privacy shield right here, again, and this nice tailgate for if you want to do some tailgating, which is a really nice, cool feature, in our opinion, that BMW has added. As I mentioned it before, the power liftgate, really quite a bit of room back here. I believe we did a Costco trip, so some shopping this past week. No problem getting any sort of cargo in there. So I'm going to put this up, and actually let's stop the review and go over the charging portion of it, and then we'll actually kind of hop into the interior of the 2016 BMW X5 40e. All right, folks, here we are kind of to show you what the plug-in portion of the 2016 BMW, let me make sure I get this right, the X5 xDrive 40e. So this is the plug-in right here. It's your typical hybrid, plug-in hybrid sort of plug-in. Same thing that you're going to find out and about. You can see the light ring right here. There's different stages if it's waiting to plug in or not. So like I mentioned, it looks like every other typical kind of car charger that you're going to see right here. Has the different prongs, plugs in, very easy. We'll show you kind of the storage piece of it here, and we just showed you that. And overall, really easy, really simple to use. Blends in really nice with the vehicle. Again, there's a 240 volt that you can actually get professionally installed into your home, or this is the 120 volt that comes directly from the manufacturer. 7 hours of charge time with this compared to 3 hours with the 240 volt. With that being said, we'll actually hop inside and take a look at the interior. All right, fans, thank you for kind of staying with us on the plug-in hybrid portion of it. We did show you. I want to make a few things clear. What comes standard with this vehicle is the 120 volt connector we showed you 2 segments ago. Comes in the back. Will charge the vehicle in 7 hours on just your standard wall outlet. You can actually, and we'll show you inside, you can change how fast it charges. For those of you that are in blackout areas, or maybe that there's high electricity times during the day and overnight, it's not quite as bad. It will actually sense all that. You can do a lot of different configurations. You can set multiple departure times so the vehicle knows how much electricity to pull out, if it needs to pull out a lot at a time, or just kind of a trickle charge sort of a thing. Again, that comes standard. Or you can have a 240 volt connector professionally installed, which will charge your vehicle in 3 hours. So 3 hours compared to 7 hours, quite a bit of difference there. Really, honestly, maybe a worthwhile investment, but you're going to have to make the judgment on that for yourself. So here we are on the back seat. I'm going to open this up really quick. As you'll notice, we just kind of want to show you the interior before we actually hop in. Again, this has that nice mocha interior on the back. As part of that cold weather package, I mentioned there are rear heated seats here in the back. You can see the vents right there. There's also the climate control capabilities back in the back there, along with some ports. We're going to hop in right here and show you what the legroom like. So this is set for, I believe it's pretty much all the way back, set for about a 6'3", 6'4" individual. Again, going to hop in. And as you can see, I don't have a ton of room. I don't know, maybe 1-2 inches is all. But again, this seat is all the way back. It's got more than enough room to scoot up and make more room for this back seat passenger. A comfortable ride. Actually had several passengers back here in the past week. I mentioned before, you do have the 4-zone climate control, the vents back here. You have some more vents along the side. Your power ports right here. Really nice door apportionments that BMW has added. Nice wood features right here. Really nice plush leather. Just exquisite. Really is the epitome of a luxury SUV. And really quick, Dad, want to show them that they do have cup holders, 2 cup holders right here in the center console that does fold down. And another thing that we will note that we didn't show you before, but we will right now, is if you wanted to fit 4 people to go skiing, snowboarding, paddleboarding, whatever it is, and you wanted to put something through this middle console, you have the ability of doing that right there, which is a really nice feature. Again, and as I mentioned, these seats do fold down, which is a great feature. As we slide out, really easy to do. BMW has sloped it relatively nicely to where it's not a huge I guess a huge problem to get in and out of the vehicle, especially if you're a lady, maybe in the summertime with some dresses and such. So with that, we'll actually hop around and I'll join you in the front seat. All right, fans, here we are for the front seat portion. Just want to show you again some of the interior apportionments, talk about a little bit about it before we go on the drive. As you can see from the door panel, really nice soft leather, similar to the back seat. They've taken that wood grain up, added the speaker system, which I will mention is an option, about a $900 option, I believe. Let me check here. Yes, it's a $875 option for the Harman Kardon system. Some nice door plates right here. This actually is kind of a power thigh kind of extender right here. You can shoot it out from there. I mentioned the 10-way power seats. Really comfortable seating in here. This isn't the M Sport package or M Line package, so you don't have the sporty seats in here. A little bit more of a plush ride. Nice big screen up here in front with the BMW system, the iDrive system. In terms of that, your steering controls are very standard. Your vents are very easy to access, easy to use. Volume knob, no tune knob. Two nice size cup holders right here, and actually they fit pretty good size cup, whether it's a water bottle or a drink or a coffee cup, whatever it might be, fits nicely in there. You do have kind of the split folding center console right here where you can get the smartphone adapter, or you can obviously raise that up and fit in your USB devices right there. So overall, again, exactly what you would expect from BMW. Even though this is an all-new model year, they've really modeled a lot of the interior based on the X5. We'll show you the sunroof here in just a second, so we'll actually do that. Dad, I'll put you in the back seat. We'll take a quick drive in the 2016 BMW X5 40e. All right, fans, here we are for the driving portion. Again, 2016 BMW X5 40e. Well, let's start with the sunroof, partly to get some more light in, partly to show you guys. So you just click it back, and it's going to open up the shade. Nice panoramic sunroof. Again, I mentioned that is standard on the 40e. That's a standard feature, which is really, really nice. Really a nice wide sunroof. So whether you're in the front seat or the back seat, you've got a great view of the moon, the stars, whatever it might be that you're kind of focused on. Let's get to the interior here. This is kind of where the interior and the interface. So dual climate control. Relatively simple controls once you're used to them. You do have heated and ventilated seats right here. No tune knob. One other thing to note, no AM radio on this vehicle. And some of you are going to say, no, you're not. You're lying. Nope. I'm going to show you. Actually, let me go back one more. One more. No AM radio. You have FM, satellite, presets, and tone. The only way to get AM is if you plug your device into the USB port right here, start the TuneIn app. It actually integrates right with BMW, so you can control your TuneIn app from your phone right here. That's the only way to get AM radio. So for those of you that are talk radio fans, like to listen to the AM, whether it's sports, politics, whatever it might be, something to note for you, you have to go a little bit roundabout way in order to access that. One other thing you'll note, we are in split screen mode, which actually, let's just jump right into that, Dad. So you're in split screen mode. You can change the different content that's on this side of the screen, and we're going to jump into this. We haven't done this a while on BMW. So you can change what you're seeing, the aero display, you can change the xDrive status, online widgets, onboard info, position. So let's say here, right, xDrive status. It's going to change, and you can actually see if you're tilted what's going on with the vehicle at that point in time. We liked it for this sake of this vehicle, with this being the 40e, being the eDrive over here, showing you what mode you're in, what's happening. So if you're going forward, if you're actually using the engine, or if you're using the electric motor. One other thing to note, though, or another thing, there's an eDrive button that you can hit, and Dad, if I'm not sure if you can get it, this is kind of your center control stack right here that you have your sport mode, comfort mode. There's also an eco mode, camera, downhill ascent, electronic parking brake. This is your auto hold. So if you are stopped in traffic, you just put the brake, come to a stop, it will automatically hold you till you press the gas. Here's the eDrive button. So now I'm going to turn your attention back up to here. I'm going to hit the eDrive button, and what it does is it changes you and gives you 3 different modes. So it actually tells you maximum electric driving, power and speed are reduced. This will put you in fully electric mode till the car has no more charge available. If you go to the save, this is as if you're taking a long trip, you want to just save it for maybe when you get back into town, you're going to be on the highway a lot. This is a way to save battery. And then when you go to the auto mode, this is more of essentially a hybrid mode where it will use electricity when it needs to. It'll use the electric motor when it needs to. It'll also use the gas-powered engine when it needs to. As we mentioned in the opening, 15 miles of driving, just on the electric that you would be able to attain. What have we been able to average in terms of miles per gallon? Well, it's rated for 56 mpge, so 50 miles per gallon combined, 56 miles per gallon combined, 23 and 25, 24 on the highway. I'm actually going to tell you what we've gotten. So we, for this past week, have driven a lot of different places, a lot of miles. We are just under, actually not even that, we are right at a half a tank. So just to tell you, we do a lot of driving in these vehicles. To be under half a tank is pretty extraordinary. We have 256 miles left. 6 miles on electric, 41% of our battery is left, and we've been able to average 38 miles per gallon, that's city and highway. We were actually talking about this morning. If you use this car, plug in, maybe you were just driving around town for some errands and you plugged it in pretty consistently, there's a good chance for some of you, you may not go through a tank of gas a month. You would probably have to try to do that depending on how far you drive. It just, the electric system kicks in and saves you that much more fuel economy. In terms of some of its competitors, where are you going to be at with fuel economy? Keep in mind, this has the ability, this is a plug-in hybrid, not just a typical hybrid that some of its competitors make, where, you know, the battery is only going to be 70 to 30%. This will run purely on electric. And I'm not going to give you numbers for 0 to 60. BMW does say, however, that it will compare to the other models in its segment. I believe it's the 35, to the 30 or 35i. I'm not completely sure. I apologize, for the X5 platform. And we'll compare in terms of times to that. And again, we can't get too much into that, but wanted to show you. Last few things before we get driving that we want to show you here on the display screen. The night vision, the night mode that we've mentioned, you click on that, and it actually shows you, literally, it is a night mode with pedestrian detection. We used it several times this past week. You cannot drive with this. Don't think you can just look at the screen and drive without looking up. No, you have to look at this, but it will actually, at nighttime, the mountains here in Colorado, if you're driving close to the mountains, they'll actually look up the mountainside and you can see outlines of that, of power lines into a field, seeing different heat signatures, whatever it might be. It's a really, really cool feature in our opinion. You're going to have to be the judge if you want to pay the extra about $2,300 or so for that. So with that, I'll actually put my seatbelt on so we don't get a bunch of dinging. As I mentioned before, you do have automatic, or I'm not sure if I mentioned it, you do have automatic wipers on this vehicle, the auto-dimming rear view mirror, the sunroof, as we mentioned before. But we'll go ahead and show it to you. So this is the rear view camera. As you can see, you do have the dynamic grid lines. You can control those from down here. We'll show you what that looks like kind of when you back it up to the curb over here. Have the ability to do that very easily, very simple. It does have object detection, which you can see right there. One other thing is, if you don't want the reverse camera, you turn it off and it gives you the surround view camera, or the 360-degree camera, so you can kind of pull up, see where you're parking when it comes to a curb. Again, I know where I'm at, and personal favorite, or I guess personal opinion, really like BMW system, think it works really, really well. So with that, actually, let's just kind of continue on our drive. As we move forward, the camera will turn off as we get up to a certain speed, so I'm not really too concerned about that at all. As we get driving here, you'll notice the quietness, the comfort, relatively comfortable vehicle, has a nice fat tires on this, or if you did want to get up and go and drive and race. In terms of horsepower, the numbers that I have seen are right around 308 horsepower combined. But for you, those of you BMW fans out there, please check us on it, let us know, and we'd be happy to adjust as we need it. But that's what I could find for right now. I'm going to be real quiet here for a second and let you hear the interior creature noise, or about 25-30 miles an hour. And so real quick, that was with the electric motor, just the electric motor itself. Now I'm going to put it into the auto drive. Actually, I'm going to put it into the save, so it automatically should turn our engine on. I'll be honest, you don't even hardly notice when the engine is on when it does switch. BMW has done an excellent job of facilitating that to where you can switch between the electric motor and the gas-powered engine very easily without a whole lot of issues. I will note there are some driver assistance packages that you can get: a heads-up display, automatic cruise control, lane keep assist. All of those different features are options on this vehicle that you could. So this vehicle could be well up into actually even the low 80s if you saw fit. Real quick, going to kind of show you the acceleration here, and I'm going to make sure we go back to the max. So when you are in the max, this thing does accelerate pretty good, and there's a little point, kind of a stopping point that you can kind of have to push through on the accelerator, which actually will switch, and you see on the screen there it says too much power required. Max eDrive not available. If you're in electric mode, you will have all electric mode all the way up to 75 miles or 75 miles per hour. That's where it will electronically limit you at. And for if you're in a gas mode, I believe it's somewhere like 130, 135, something of that sort. So let's park it real quick and we'll give you our opinion if you haven't noticed it already. What do we think of this vehicle? Again, 2016 BMW X-Drive 40e. Fantastic. If you're looking for a luxury SUV, you want to be a little bit more fuel efficient, you maybe don't really go too much you don't drive long distances places. You don't have to drive 20 miles to work one way and back. Maybe you're driving only 10 miles to work and you have the ability of plugging in and add work. In that situation, you would very rarely use gas. As I mentioned before, you would maybe only use, I don't know, maybe a tank of gas a month is all. For those of you that again want a luxury SUV but also want to be more fuel conscious, this may be the car for you. It has all of the luxury features that you are known for in BMW, or that BMW is known for and that you are looking for, with the added ability to have that electric capability to it. A lot of nice luxurious features. What are some cons to it? Well, honestly, I don't really have a whole lot. I mean, some of you would say the price tag, it's pretty expensive. But again, it's a luxury SUV. I know that those of you that are BMW fans, you're going to say, well, that's not a con. And I would agree. It's a personal opinion of it. The only thing I would really say is maybe BMW fix that rear windshield wiper, put it up in the top and get it out of my field of vision. So other than that, great vehicle. BMW, in our opinion, 2 thumbs up. One thing we want to mention really quickly is the charging, kind of the settings and all of that you're able to customize on this 40e model, the X5 40e. So you just go to settings. There's 2 different buttons here, right? There's the departure time and charging. Let's actually go to charging first. So charge immediately or low cost charging is really going to only go depending on your charging time. So you can change all sorts of different things. So this is when your electricity rates go down. Here in Colorado, we don't have that, but for those of you in other areas, you might. So you can change all of your different settings to what's going to happen. This is where you can set at that point in time your level 1 charging. I believe there's 3 different modes to choose from. The maximum, reduced, or low. You can look at the owner's manual for that. The second thing I want to show you is the departure time itself. So you go back and you can say precondition for departure. That means when you get to departure time, it will cool the cabin of the car, heat it up, whatever it might be, depending on the outside variables, will make the cabin nice and comfortable for you as you enter it. Again, you can set some different departure times. So maybe you get up in the morning, maybe your second one is you leave work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you can set that for 5 p.m. So you can set different departure times so the vehicle knows how much charge to pull down and when to do so. So really cool feature. Just one last thing we wanted to show you, and with that we'll kind of wrap up the review of the 2016 BMW X5 40e. If you want to learn more about this vehicle, head to your local BMW dealer, request a test drive, and if you do, tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.